press the bell icon and never miss an update from ET Auto.
If we look at the buzz around, EV has almost arrived. But when we talk about the vehicles on the road, probably we need to rethink how the progress is going. Today I am joined by Mrs. Hemalatha Annamalai, who is founder of Ampere Automotive, which is a dedicated company that is producing two-wheelers and three-wheelers. They are electric two-wheelers and three-wheelers. So let me welcome ma'am. This is a great space to be in, of course, as far as we look at the buzz that is going around EV. How excited are you? Recently, Niti Aayog in a meeting also proposed that we should have 20% two-wheelers as EV by 2022. How encouraging is that?
Oh, we are all super excited because I think I've been waiting for this moment for the last 10 years. When we started in 2008, the policies were kind of settling down, and now I feel that it's a perfect opportunity for anyone who wanted to scale. And we are at the cusp of a very big inflection point. Today, electric vehicles are not even 1% of gasoline bikes, so that's a very big opportunity for us. So if we get our execution correct, I think we are in for a major overhaul. We are in for a very, very big opportunity.
But don't you think it's a very big uphill task, because our current numbers are very less, about 60,000 units when it comes to two-wheelers, and by 2020 if we talk about 20% of two-wheeler becoming EV, that means you have to have at least 6-7 millions of two-wheelers
Absolutely.
as EV.
Yep.
The time gap is very less, the availability of infrastructure or any kind of policy, boost that we don't see. So how much of your excitement is going to survive around that?
Good question, because in our case, if you look at it, we have invested in research and development right from inception. So we are focusing on innovation. So in terms of the supply chain for the powertrain, right, we actually make our own chargers and DC-DC converters. And this year we'll be completing our motor and controllers. These four components alone constitute almost 70% of the BOM cost, which we wanted to control. So I think once we actually use that for our own self, we are completely in control of our supply chain, number one. And then number two is that in terms of the opportunity is very huge, but how are you going to do the back end and all that, right? I don't think so, because in electric vehicles there are very few components, not very complex. If you take electric two-wheeler, the number of components is about 90 to 120 components, right? So it is very easy for us to be able to do distributed manufacturing and to be able to have multiple sites and to be able to focus on the scale. If only if the policy is very conducive for an average user to be able to quickly think and buy, and if the government makes financing mandatory, this industry will scale. The industry has only two problems: awareness and financing, that's it.
So you don't see major roadblock?
No.
No roadblock at all. Let me put to you one thing. Why will somebody spend double of the cost that somebody can acquire a scooter or a bike for 50,000-60,000 or 70,000? Why will somebody invest much higher amount to own an EV here?
See, today if you look at it, the people who are adopting electric vehicles are all the aspiring middle class. Today the aspiring middle class are looking at trendy product lines, and there also some of them are largely eco-conscious. Like in South where we come from, people are heavily not using plastics at all. So the awareness is slowly coming, right? Number one. And number two is that if the petrol price and the battery has to be almost the same, then everybody will move to electric. Today if you look at it, the kilowatt hour per energy density in batteries is going to be steadily coming down, right? So if the kilowatt hour price comes down to about $100-$120, it's almost comparative. It's not much of a problem. And today credible players are actually kind of scaling up very well, and they're actually focusing on aftermarkets and consumer care, right, customer care. I think because of those situations, we still feel that it will be a slow and steady journey, but it is for those companies that actually have a very clear roadmap, will actually execute and really succeed very well.
What is your product rollout plan? How many new products are you going to
today we are actually launching 3 more products new financial year. We are launching almost 2 high-speed models, and then we are also launching 1 product for industrial segment. We are actually having a e-tower to actually carry. It's called a Toby. So the Tobys will be pulling carts. So we are actually doing that. So I think it will be very interesting because for us we operate in both lead acid and lithium battery segments, and it's going to be both 2-wheeler and 3-wheeler. and we will be having, in 2 scooters, we will be having 4 major products and then 2 through variants in that. And in the B2B business segment, we will be having 3 product verticals. So it is going to be very clear shot in terms of, because in electric vehicles, if you master the powertrain, you can actually make any kind of products, multiple product lines. But then also you should standardize, because we don't want to be doing more products, because then localization and standardization will be difficult.
So when it comes to localization, what is your current level of localization? Because that is going to play a very important role.
That's right. Because right now we are about 60-70%, okay, bought out, and for 30-40% local. That will change, because we are not right now doing plastics ourselves, and we will actually want to focus on the key parts, because key parts is 70% straight away. Okay, so if you get the key parts right, I think largely we will be automating almost more than about 45-50%, excluding the battery. Battery is anyway a commodity.
Going forward, recently Grips and Cotton has bought majority stake in your company. How that has changed? Is there any change in the work?
Oh, of course, as an entrepreneur, for me, I am now dreaming very big dream.
Okay.
Right? That's very important, and today I am not thinking in a very constrained manner. So that's a second change, and the whole team is today now thinking big. That's even more good, because when the whole team is tuned, then the scale can automatically happen.
How did you get all the investors to be consolidated by one player? Was it your effort, or how did it happen, or is just
No, I think some of our players, some of my existing investors already wanted to exit, and then some of them wanted to continue. But then when Grips Cotton came, they said that they just wanted to be a singular majority. I respect that, because then it becomes easy to manage, because it's better to have one partner to hold hands and then scale the business together. So I kind of spoke to all the players and almost exited all of them. And then thereby we have a single partner like in Grips Cotton.
So you want to remain a local player, or you have global aspirations
Oh,
now?
of course we have global aspirations. I think end of the next financial year, we'll be exporting to 2 countries.
2 countries, which
Yeah.
vehicle are you
Largely motorbikes, electric scooters, suitable for specific market segments, which we are actually right now doing an engineering design for that. The customer from overseas are very keen to work with us, because they have come and visited us. They have understood the powertrain capability of our company. So definitely export is going to be one of our key focus for FY20.
So are you going to expand the stake that has been bought over by, some stake was held by you also,
Yeah.
what they acquired.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about that funds? Where are those funds?
No, I think right now Grips Cotton is gradually investing in our company. The investments are largely in for capex, expansion, because we are now automating, semi-automating many parts of the factory itself, and we are actually putting many systems in place for supply chain, for the finance part, for the customer management. So all these manufacturing processes and if systems are in place, then it becomes very easy for us. And I think in about 6 to 7 months, if the scale happens as we predicted, then we will also have a plant in the middle of India.
So what is your current production capacity, and how do you?
Currently, we can do about 60,000 vehicles per year, and we would be expanding our capacities further. That's the annual production plan.
How much are you trying to add?
Now, right now, we are actually at about 40% right now. That itself can scale up, because the whole market is very small. But now with the new policy announcement, then if we capacitate completely, then we'll move to other location.
What's your network expansion plan? How many units you are doing right now?
Today we are about 182 dealer network in about 15 states, and then every month we are appointing 8 to 10 dealers very systematically, very well.
So what is the dealership model? Because volumes are very less.
Yeah, mostly.
How they turn profitable? What is it like?
No, I think, see, the thing is today we are one of the only company where we are very dealer centric. When I say dealer centric, we are looking at dealer profitability first, because if they are profitable and if they are happy with your quality, everything will fall in place.
What kind of basic requirement you are looking for?
Typically, our dealers invest in about 40 vehicles, and then they need to have a showroom in a prime location with a very good frontage. That's the one requirement. We don't collect any dealer deposits.
But the real estate cost is very high.
Correct.
So.
And in specific pockets, we jointly also invest together to help to see whether the location advantage we can take, jointly work together. So like that, we support the dealers.
How many units you are selling right now in month?
In a month, right now, we are heading towards close to about 2,500 numbers per month. That will actually scale.
So your dealerships are segment agnostic or segment specific, like two-wheeler and the three-wheeler different?
Today, we don't segment agnostic, we don't limit them as long as they get the right opportunity. So we kind of give the opportunity as long as they have the drive to keep the customer happy and do the service very well. No point having more products if you're not able to service the customer first. Because dealers are our first customers, and the customers who actually come to dealership also has to be serviced very well. That's very important.
What is your top line target for your
For this
company?
year, we've already done about close to about 45 crores as on date, and then if all ends up very well, we'll be ending up at about 60, which is what we want to target.
What is your baseline or how much it is?
We will be turning over profitability this year.
You will be turning profitable this year. Many congratulations on
Thank you
this
so much.
note.